New watch, no diamonds, no watch.
Woo! What's up, ladies and gentlemen? It's your boy Chief. We got a good one today. Do you notice changes every time you look in the mirror? Do you feel like your face is a little bit more fuller? Listen, I'm here to give you guys tips for how to get rid of face fat in just 3 days. Let's get into it. Tip number one, that's increase your cardio, ladies and gentlemen. So listen, I'm not here to give you the same spiel about, oh yeah, make sure you're doing 30 minutes to 45 minutes of cardio every day. No, listen, find things that you enjoy doing. Some people enjoy talking to their friends on the phone. If you enjoy talking to your friend on the phone, just make a rule that every time you talk to your friend, you're gonna walk. So typically, when I talk to my friends, I'm getting in my steps. To me, walking is something I don't enjoy doing. It's very boring, but I do enjoy talking to my friends or my family. So I will call them, and as I'm talking to them, I'll be walking, getting my steps in. Another thing that I also enjoy doing is playing basketball. So I'll get with a friend, I'll have that friend play basketball with me, and that way I'm working on my relationship with that friend, and I'm also getting my cardio in. Because how we're going to really get rid of that face fat, especially in 3 days, is if we're consistently doing things that we love to do, spending a lot of time hitting that cardio. So that's tip number one, guys, is just to keep getting at it, keep hitting your cardio, and then find things that you enjoy doing and making it the best. It's tip number one. Tip number two, and that's remove all processed foods from your house. Listen, guys, if you really want to cut this weight off, especially in 3 days, you cannot have snacks that you enjoy eating right downstairs or so close to you. They cannot be within the house. You have to get rid of all those processed foods that are in the house. I'm not saying when you're going on these trips, when you're going on this date, yes, after 3 days, you go do what you want to do. But for the next 3 days, we're going to get rid of all of the junk food in the house. And moving forward, we're going to make a rule that we're not going to have any more junk food in the house. From now on, if we want processed foods, we have to go out and go get that, because that's how we're going to stay lean. That's people say, oh man, how do you stay so lean year round? That's how I do it. It's my discipline. And I'm not the most disciplined person. So what I do is I remove the processed food from my house. Since I've gotten rid of all processed food out of my house and I removed it entirely, things have been so much easier. It's been so much easier to stay committed, because I'm a very busy person. I have a business. I'm working on my business all the time. I'm also busy with my 9-to-5 jobs. I have a lot of stuff going on. So if there's a snack right down the hall, then that's easy for me to get. But if I have to get in the car and go to the store to go get that snack, it's probably not going to happen. So that helps me stay disciplined. So I recommend getting rid of all processed food, and that's tip number two. Tip number three, major, man, cut down on the wine and the beer. Just no more alcohol. You guys, when you have these goals, you want to lose weight, but you're taking in so many calories when you're consuming these margaritas with these juices and these sugars and just beer in general. Beer has so many calories in it. Listen, guys, if you want to have a cup every once in a while, that's fine. But if you really want to hit your goals, you really want to drop this weight, you guys have to start cutting out this alcohol. I noticed as I started getting leaner and leaner, and as I started hitting some of my goals, talking to some of my friends, and I have all different type of friends. Some of my friends, I'm not someone that I just believe in hanging out with friends in the gym. No, my friends, I have friends from the club, I have friends from college, I have friends from the gym, I have friends everywhere. And I just realized some of our habits. I'm like, listen guys, we're gonna be out all day. So we're going to a brunch in the morning. Everyone wants to drink, get drunk at the brunch. And then we wanna go to the club at night, drink and get drunk at the club. It's like, guys, you're consuming 10 shots of alcohol in one day. Is too much. I always tell people, what are we giving up? You guys say you want these goals, but what are you willing to give up to get these goals? You can attain them. I'm not saying you can't have a shot or two, but to have 5, 10 shots of alcohol is just too much. So if you want to really hit these goals, especially if you're trying to lose this face fat in 3 days, I recommend getting rid of all alcohol in the meantime. So that's tip number 3. Tip number four is include compound lifts in your training. For those of you guys that don't even work out, Compound lifts are bench, squat, and deadlift. And if you still don't know what that is, make sure you check out my Instagram page, make sure you subscribe to my YouTube page, and I have a bunch of examples of that. But make sure you're including these lifts in your training. You need to get more active, you need to build more muscle, and those lifts burn a lot of calories. To do a squat, to do a deadlift, to do a bench, it involves multiple muscle groups. So by performing those exercises, you'll be able to burn so many calories, and that's gonna help get rid of that face fat. That's the easy way, one of the most easiest ways to get rid of face fat, because a lot of you guys just say, hey, you know what, like I just wanna walk, and walking is fine, but you can burn so many calories in just 45 minutes of performing compound lifts compared to 45 minutes of walking. So I always tell people, if you're really trying to drop this weight, if you're really trying to get rid of not only just face fat, but you're trying to get rid of stomach fat, I always tell people to make sure that they're including lifting in their regimen, because by burning up all those calories, you put yourself in such a calorie deficit. A lot of you guys are wondering how you're gaining all this weight. It's because you're not in a calorie deficit. A lot of you guys are in a calorie surplus. And that just means you have a maintenance. If your maintenance calorie intake is 2,500, you need to be underneath 2,500. A lot of you guys, your maintenance is 2,500, but your calorie intake, the food that you're consuming, is 3,500, making you 1,000 over. You guys need to be at least 500 below that. So you need to be at least consuming 2,000 calories if you're really trying to get rid of this face fat. So that's tip number 4. Tip number five, we need to decrease our body fat percentage. Listen guys, for men, you need to be underneath 20% body fat if you want to get rid of face fat. And women, you need to be underneath 25% body fat. Listen, you guys cannot have all this excess body fat laying around. It's gotta go somewhere. It's either gonna go to your face, to your back, to your glutes, to your thighs. The beautiful thing about weight is when you gain weight, you gain it all over the place. So by working out and losing weight, you'll start to see changes rather quickly. One of the first places you see changes is actually in your face. That's one of the first places people start losing weight is in their face. Some of the hardest fat to get rid of is really in your legs or your stomach. So you guys can really make a huge change. By following these steps, you can easily drop this weight within the next 3 days. So I recommend you guys just stay with it, keep pushing yourself, and you will get there. Listen guys, those are the tips to help get rid of face fat. Make sure you subscribe and hit the notification button to see the rest of my content. I have a bunch of videos on face fat and a lot more tips. Listen, throughout this process, I want you guys to stay positive. We will get the change that we want. I've been there where I looked in the mirror and I noticed that my face was getting chunky, or I noticed that I was trying to flex my abs and I couldn't see my abs. We've all been there, but you just have to dedicate yourself to the process, remain confident, and focus on your goals. And take it one day at a time. A lot of you guys have a lot of unrealistic goals. Hey, you know, I want to drop 30 pounds in 1 month. I'm not here to perform magic. I'm not here to lie to you guys either. I'm here to tell you that you can reach those goals, but you have to put the work in consistently, because you didn't gain the weight overnight. You gained the weight over months, and maybe you didn't realize, because it happens. I've been there where I've gained weight, and I didn't even realize, and then I looked up, I'm like, whoa, what's going on? So the same way that it took that time for you to gain that weight and it was a process, it's the same process you have to put in to lose that weight. So I just recommend that you guys take your time and work with me, and we will get there. So stay locked in, man. I hope the video was able to help you out. And don't forget, hit the notification button. Make sure you subscribe. Content Performance, we out.
No watch, no diamonds, no watch, good timing, yeah.